Welcome! Today we're diving into the opening verses of Surah Al-Maidah, drawing our insights from the incredible Tafhim al-Quran by Maulana Maududi. We're going to explore what it really means to make a promise, a covenant with Allah, and how that single idea sets the stage for everything else in a believer's life.
So here's how we're going to break this down. We'll start with the core idea of fulfilling our promises and what's lawful. Then we'll get into purity and justice. After that, we'll look at the powerful story of the covenant with Bani Israel and see the lessons we can learn from the people of the book. And we'll wrap up with an intense story about a major test of faith.
All right, let's get right into it. The surah kicks off with a command that is, honestly, the foundation for everything that follows. Right at the very beginning, Ayah 1 says, fulfill all uqud, or contracts. Now, don't just think of this as a legal document. This is way bigger. This is about the ultimate agreements between you and Allah. It's like the constitution of your faith, covering every single law and every boundary that He has set for us.
And you know, this covenant gets practical right off the bat. The verse immediately gives us guidance on what's lawful, or halal, to eat. It uses the term bahimatul an'am, which covers the obvious livestock like camels, cows, and sheep, but it's also a general principle. Any grazing animal that isn't a predator is fine. It's a beautifully simple rule for our sustenance.
From there, the scope really opens up. Suddenly, it's not just about what we eat. It's about respecting the sacred symbols of our faith and, crucially, how we cooperate with each other. This is laying the groundwork for a truly just and righteous community.
We're told not to violate the sha'a'ir Allah. This term is super important. It refers to any symbol that points to the pure worship of the one true God. Think about the context here. This was a revolutionary idea. It meant believers had to respect anything that represented pure monotheism, period.
And this is where it gets really profound. The believers at the time were being blocked from the Kaaba by their enemies. Imagine the anger. Yet, it's at this exact moment that Allah tells them to rise above it. The principle is crystal clear. Don't let your hatred for someone push you into being unjust. You cooperate in good, and you absolutely do not cooperate in sin and transgression.
Ayah 3 continues laying out dietary laws, telling us what's explicitly forbidden, or haram. But then, right in the middle of these details, boom, we get this absolutely monumental declaration. This day I have perfected for you your religion and completed my favor upon you.
I mean, think about that for a second. That's a huge shift in mindset. Allah is saying the external threat, the fear of your enemies wiping you out, is over. They've given up. So who should you fear now? Only me. The focus shifts entirely from an external battle for survival to an internal one for piety. It really makes you ask yourself, what are we afraid of today?
Okay, so let's see how these grand ideas of covenants and laws actually translate into the day-to-day practices of a Muslim.
In Ayah 6, we get the familiar steps for wudu. But it's so much more than just a list of instructions. The verse frames it as a gift, a favor from Allah to purify us, not to make things difficult. It's a simple, physical act that carries this incredible spiritual weight. And this next part? For me, this is the absolute pinnacle of Islamic justice. The command is so direct, so explicit. Do not let your hatred for a people stop you from being just. Be just. Why? Because justice is the closest thing to taqwa, to true God consciousness. It's an incredible standard to live by.
Okay, so now the Quran does something really interesting. It shifts gears and turns to history, specifically to the covenant made with the children of Israel. And listen, this isn't just a story from the past. This is a mirror being held up, and it's a serious cautionary tale.
And look at how clear the terms of this deal were. There was no gray area. You establish the prayer, you give the charity, you believe in and support the messengers, and you spend in Allah's cause. And the reward was just as clear. Forgiveness and paradise. A straight deal.
So, what happens if you break the pact? You lose what's called sawa as-sabil. And this concept is so important. It's not just about a straight road, it's the perfectly balanced path, the one that does justice to every part of who we are, our spiritual side, our physical side, us as individuals, and us as a community. It keeps us from swinging into dangerous extremes.
So, the pact was broken. Now what? Well, the Quran shows us exactly what happens next. It lays out the consequences for both the Jewish and Christian communities as a powerful warning.
For Bani Israel, breaking the covenant led to a curse from Allah.
which resulted in their hearts becoming hard and them distorting their scriptures and forgetting their teachings. For the Nasara, the Christians, forgetting their message led to something just as devastating: infighting, enmity, and hatred among themselves that the Quran says will last until the day of resurrection.
Okay, so from this big picture history, we're about to zoom in on one specific, incredibly tense moment. It was a direct command from Allah, a moment of truth that would test the faith of Prophet Musa's people like never before.
So picture this. The children of Israel have just been miraculously saved from Egypt. And now Prophet Musa gives them the command they've been waiting for. Enter the Holy Land, Palestine. The land Allah has promised you. Don't turn back. This is it, the finish line.
And their response, wow, it's just unbelievable. It's a total refusal. They basically look their prophet in the eye and say, "Oh Musa, we're not going in there as long as they are. So you go, you and your Lord, and you two fight. We're going to sit right here." It's an act of pure cowardice and a complete betrayal of their covenant.
And it all ends with this just gut-wrenching plea from Musa. He's been completely let down by his people. So he turns to Allah and says, "My Lord, I have no control over anyone except myself and my brother. So please separate us from these rebellious people." He essentially asks Allah to draw a line in the sand between the obedient and the defiant.
And that's the whole point, right? This story from thousands of years ago is really asking us a question, right here, right now. Covenants demand action. They demand obedience. So when Allah gives us a command, what's our response? Do we step up? Or do we find our own excuses to say, we are sitting right here? It's a heavy question.
You know, getting to grips with these deep verses is really made possible because of a long line of incredible scholarship. Our journey today has been guided by the brilliant insights found in works like Maulana Maududi's Tafhim al-Quran. And that brings us to the end of our exploration for today. We really hope you found this deep dive into Surah Al-Maidah beneficial. If you did, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Thank you for joining us.